News up.
Bring Osama bin Laden to the gates of hell.
We got Jews in the house.
We are in control now.
Yes. Punch in the launch codes, infidels. It's time for the hacker to strike back and take to the airwaves to bring you the ultimate propaganda. He said, she said, who's getting the push, who's got the heat, and the incoming missiles ready to strike the wrestling world. Here, Hameen Media Group with my hostage, RBV, and we're never giving it back. That's right, infidels. There's a price to pay for your indiscretions. And now you got to answer to Hameen. YOLO. Oh, yeah.
Group.
Yeah, the whole group of them. And the beat goes on, a never-ending cycle of ignorance and war and blackmail and espionage and religious fanaticism and
What is all this happening?
So welcome to it. You know, I retire and now they got to pay off the heat on their own is what it comes down to. I was the plug. I was able to let some steam off the pressure cooker and do a couple jobs and make Dick Justice and Roddy Piper and Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Sergeant Slaughter look good. But apparently we're past all that now. And with Sabu passing away and the dark side of the ring exposing Muhammad Hassan, who else was left? We tried our best.
And, I can't believe you're leaving those big paydays on the table there, Hameen.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things we got to talk about today with Riyadh season. Oh yeah, Riyadh's on the border pretty much with Qatar in the middle of that in Iran. So
like 23 hours apart, right?
Not even what
like
Riyadh in Riyadh.
Just a drive, yeah.
Well, maybe the way their highway set up, I don't think it's that far at all. Like just over, the couple borders there in the desert. But it doesn't matter. The whole thing is a hornet's nest, bro.
Well, so let's jump right in right there.
Yeah.
Hey, I was
as we speak, there's missiles being launched at
counterattack
in Iraq and Qatar bases, and apparently our version of the Iron Dome, there's no yet reported strikes. That doesn't mean they're not hitting just because they're not reported or casualties. So yeah, man, just a fucking Orwellian nightmare that is ever recycling and regurgitating itself. And here we are, guy.
I say, I was super busy. An awesome opportunity this past weekend at the track with a unique event.
Yeah, man.
And a late night on Saturday, I get a text message from Jargo. And he's like, hey, I know we were going to talk tomorrow. Like, we'll put that on pause in case the world's not here. And I'm like, what the hell is happening, man? So I was like completely clueless to what was happening there. But I guess, what was it, 10 o'clock Saturday that Trump is promising, hey, I'm going to address the country about the situation. But it was like, hey, we just did this shit. We just whatever rock and rolled. And we're just, within the hour of going live here with you, I mean, we're getting reports about the counter strikes coming back. In a big picture, I know everybody freaking out right now about the possibility of World War III. Is that a reality? Are we that close? I mean, does Iran have anyone that will stand with them? Because the Russians already told them no, they can't support them.
That's not the propaganda I've heard. I heard that Russia and North Korea are ready to supply them with nuclear warheads to like, hey, we got them. We'll get them to your country and you can have them to
maybe what I heard was like, we can't physically be there, but hey, the U.S. was feeding to Ukraine.
Dude,
so what you need.
What is the definition of World War III? Like what else needs to be done to like Are you talking like
International Conflict 25? Can we just go with that one?
Yeah, what's going to happen next? They're going to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, and all the oil prices are going to go up, which will kill the middle class who wants to go to July 4th, and gas is $3.75, $4 a gallon. So you're going to mess with their heads that way. Then some shit is the Houthis with some fucking band of proxy warriors will be armed with something heavy, and they'll hit a fucking cargo ship and they'll smash that. And you know what I mean? And that'll be headlines for 2 days or what have you. And you'll hear Allahu Akbar. And now we're triggering everything from the last 20 years, you know, that has been fucking ingrained in people through trauma-based mind control. And then they'll launch missiles again, and something will get through, you know, and they'll step it up. So then what? Like, Iraq is 1/3, I believe, maybe a quarter, but about a third the size of Iran. The Iran, like, Taliban are painted as mountain people that are fucking crazy and shit like that. And they have that. Iranian people are fucking people with master's degrees, doctorates, very high level society people that
just from
that have been living under an oppressive regime.
The WWE's over there, the images of you know the structures that they're building and the colors that, I mean, it is a very luxurious place with some highly intelligent SOBs.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, for sure. You know, like, it's all geopolitics from a upper ruling class that, again, the people aren't really behind either one, whether it's Zionism or fucking Ayatollahs and mullahs getting death to America stuff done that's going to get their lives ruined and their fucking houses blown up. You know, I'm not here to stump for Trump because I think it's fucking absolutely a complete double think op when people are saying Nobel Peace Prize, because he was saying because of the Congo and the deal that they did there to get those countries in Africa to stop, you know, chopping each other up for a little while with machetes, or to have India, Pakistan step back. Like, that was like a 4 or 5 day fucking tension thing. And now that's just swept away. Like, that all figures into this type of shit, bro. Like, those can be flashpoints for other things or misdirection spots and all that. But Trump did say 2 months ago, like, we're going to give you a chance to cut a fucking deal. Everything's the art of the deal with this guy, right? Like, that's his catchphrase. And they bullshit their way to keep going and just drag it out. I'm not saying that, but then he also gave the people of Tehran, get the fuck out of the city. We're hitting strategic, you know, points there. This isn't like, fuck these desert people. You know, it's not like that feel that they with Tora Bora and whatnot. But I go back to right away, and this is how quickly we forget in 2 decades, General Wesley Clark's speech where he was dumbfounded thinking that bin Laden, a former CIA op that was in command of whatever this is, or then we have the dancing Israelis on the fucking roof thing. So is it a Mossad thing to draw us in because they wanted to get us to war with Iran to use American defense forces as a proxy warrior to fucking zap Yemen, and what has happened? They took out Gaddafi. They took out Saddam. They fucking tried to get, they got Bashir out in Syria. So there's, like, right off the list, these plans, no matter who's in office, fucking Bill Clinton, George Bush, idiot Jr. too, with Cheney fucking puppeting him. Obama, a complete Manchurian candidate, CIA op, raised from a child to be that, to Donald Trump and fucking Joe Biden, a lifetime politician that was a puppet with who knows what deep staters running him. These plans have been on the table, and they doesn't matter who you have in the front office, they're going to keep pushing it, and they look for their opportunities. You know, I'm not here to stump for anybody who's trying to get nuclear weapons, bro. Like right. They should just let them have them. Like,
nukes for everybody.
Yeah, you got your 60-day notice, dog, and then they came to foreclose on you. And now you're striking back. That kind of, you were trying to no-sell. There's the locker room. You were trying to no-sell the warnings of your heat. No, it's all good. We're good, brother. No heat between us. No heat. 60 days comes and goes. Shit pops off with Israel to pave the way, and we need you guys to come in with your heavy artillery and show that you're really backing us. It's not like that we couldn't have given that to Israel to do that job. This was a fucking message from the office. You fucked up after your 60 days. And this is where we're going into now.
And it's a more meaningful message when it comes from us, and then it's just Israel doing it. Just
Right.
us, pushing them in that direction. Now
it makes them sell. It makes them sell, which means they are launching the missiles at U.S. bases that they look as colonizers. But the reality is, you're a problem for the world. Of course,
instead of Ducey reprimanding you, this is Vince coming down on you.
Yeah. Like Deuce been testing you, running back to Vince, and fucking now Vince is ready to get you to sell, and you did. And now your missiles aren't hitting, but you've sold and you've exposed that you are the fucking dirty bastard that we all knew you were. So, they'll do everything, whether it's Mossad on the ground to do targeted assassinations. They've taken out a lot of the top dudes. And that also makes me flash back to fucking, well, I thought we were going into Afghanistan or Pakistan to get the Taliban, but now apparently we're going to Iraq, and there was Syria and Iran all on the list. And that was what Wesley Clark was saying. Then we do go to Iraq and Afghanistan at the same fucking time, where we both got our asses handed to us by fucking militia level dudes, because you're going to fight in their fucking backyard. It's like if they came here and wanted to fight in the fucking woods in New York, you're done. You're not fucking, like, we don't need no army help up here. Like, it would be straight out of Red Dawn. Like, guys are salivating for that kind of shit their whole lives, so they think it's coming, right? But the war now is fucking going to that exact plan. I remember because I had bought 2 packs. I gave one to my old man, the deck of cards of fucking top guys that they were taking out left and right. You remember those? There's a deck of the top 52, and they're doing the same shit, like naming these.
Did those have bubble gum in them?
They might have. They might have had a gum in,
or some yellow cake, maybe some uranium.
Yeah. Or the anthrax. That remember nobody even puts over anthrax as part of the giant psyop that was 9/11.
You remember the real quick though? I just popped in my head to the chat too. Yeah. The Chappelle skit where he's Black Bush, and they got that yellow cake. Yeah. What do you do? Put that yellow. Popped in my head.
Yeah, that shit is no one can even write to that level right now to put some shit over. It's just to watch it all be repeated again. I'm like, it almost makes me feel, and this is my crybaby bullshit. Like, now that I am done, like did I fail in like waking people up, as that was what my MO was, to make them swallow that jagged little pill? But no matter how much my satirical performance provides an outlet for PTSD from propaganda stress, like, here we are, and no one's learning anything at all. Yeah, really. I mean, we're running the exact same fucking plays, and they just bite on it constantly, and now here, and after 9/11, we gave up all of our fucking digital rights and every other fucking thing for the spy state, and to create NSA super fucking, track every word, which gave birth to the AI shit. And now here we are with Palantir about to do the exact same play that we did then again. Like, what more can you fucking get? It's like, it's in the bylaws that everything in the phones like is constantly tracked. What else could they be possibly putting together from, tax stuff and shit like that? I mean, it's got to be what Bill Cooper said. All of this is a jump off to get to a nuclear Armageddon level where the people are so broken that they say, yes, we just want this all to stop, please, at any cost. And they go, okay, but the only way we can do that is to have a new world order, one world government. And there is no George Washington on a fucking quarter or dollars or hundreds of Ben Franklin's. There's none of that. There won't even be Bitcoin or something all new that you can buy into. And then we'll be in exactly what they fucking been wanting to push us to since late 1800s, really. And you could even argue when this country was started, because they all wore fucking Freemason smocks and did all that shit. And that's the foundation for all this bullshit.
Could this just be a next move, a political move for Trump? He can't run this country after this term. Could he become the king of Iran? Is that a play for it?
I think, like I was saying, the Iranian people aren't. It's not like they're hurting for people that are educated thinkers and
like you said, we paint them this picture of all these like bottom
like some
folk.
fucking dude, he's got a harem and they live in a desert in a tent. They have highly evolved cities that look like any American city does,
Probably
like
better.
skyscraper. Yeah, dude, like these are like very, very highly intelligent, family-oriented people, and they've been under an oppressive regime. So to me, that means, along with targeted assassinations of military and religious top leaders and shahs that blur that line and kind of hide behind Islamic extremist religion, you know what I mean? That's not what the people there are really about. They're about, kind of the same society and values moving forward that any human wants on this fucking earth. And they're already way ahead when it comes to domestic and social, and I think like the way their society's set up, so let the women take off whatever clothes they want. They look very voluptuous and kind of like European to start with, like it has a lot of that same crossover culture. And they won't even call themselves Iranians. That's a weird thing to me, that they want to be known as Persians, obviously an empire that was great for thousands of years. And now we have Iran with this like just stamp of fucking Cold War negativity and propaganda on it. And what do you do when a brand has got fucking negative value? You rebrand it. You know what I mean? Like that's corporate 101. And that's what all these fucking
new logos, new letterheads.
Yeah. And my point is there's highly educated people there that I'm sure are stooges for the Mossad, for the American CIA, or whoever else op-wise that they already want to put in there after they depose the current government. And that's the best way to do it, is targeted strikes, a coup d'etat. And if you can't get it done from inside, we'll have our Mossad fucking sharpshooters paint the sky with a laser and we'll fucking fly a drone bomb in there. Like that's how it's going to end. Like that's modern day warfare. So to go all the way back, like what is World War III? It's probably 2 or 3 more commercial attacks. Maybe they'll fucking shoot down a flight of passengers, some wacky shit like that. Maybe their bombs will hit on an American colonizer base, and then they'll fucking smoke everybody else who's left in the deck of cards, and the next crew will take over. Ahmadinejad and all them will be fucking done for forever.
Should within a modern day sense of what you're talking, laying out then what a world war means, where should our attention be for something that would be like we saw 5 years ago with the pandemic and the shutdown, I guess for that style, that tactic of warfare, going at us from disease or something?
Yeah, they're not beyond it. They've already done bioterrorism on us, right? So
that's what I was going. I couldn't think of the word bioterrorism.
Yeah. I don't know. Trump says he's talking to Xi every other day, and this trade deal still isn't getting done. So that's a war of attrition too, but obviously we still have to have Chinese products to keep our lives going the way they are. So even if they're at a cost, like they're still trickling through. But if you invade those trade routes, that's going to fucking, isn't that the fundamental premise of Star Wars 4, 5, and 6? It's all about trade routes and shit like that, and Senate commission hearings, and there's a war going on out there, but it doesn't really affect you because you're sitting in some capital city eating fucking lobster and caviar. Like, it's very interesting that these things are there, that pretty much the plot line of Top Gun 2 and the exact attack plans are exactly what we just did in Iran. Like, all of these things have been on the table, like from when they think them out, and the Mossad goes, the world is our stage, we use everyone, and they also run Hollywood. Then when Top Gun 2 comes out, that it is almost the exact plan that have probably been on the table of Israel for fucking 20 years. They know where the mountain was, to bomb it and all that shit. And you get people ready for these things and have Tom Cruise do it and fund these movies, bro. That's operant conditioning. That's all that was what was done by the Nazis on their people, bro. All these fucking weird human experiments that we now take into our marketing to get people's mind ready for all this fucking crazy shit that they at some level believe they must, because they keep pushing towards it, you know. But if you're stressed out, come to Raven's Joint. I got some great
Got the good
weed.
stuff for you.
Got some great new weed.
Yosef, interesting here. If Russia, kind of paraphrase we got here, if Russia, China, North Korea all back Iran, what are the chances for the U.S.?
I mean, what does back them mean? You know, like everybody thinks like it's going to be some D-Day invasion. That was my point. Look at Iraq.
Right. It's not going to be line everybody up in the trenches like it was back in the day. And
we couldn't hold that.
So.
Well, that's the thing. Like, so you want to do that? Like, if Russia would fucking make a move, now you're splitting the defense on the Ukraine thing, which is what hurt us. A lot. So much of this is Sun Tzu Art of War tactics that's going on.
Divide and conquer.
100% in higher ground. So things that pop me but don't pop me of just like, what the fuck? Like, when you're talking about Nobel Peace Prizes, but you're dropping 30-ton mega bombs, like, and then it was like, Obama did it and they gave it to him. I'm like, yeah, like, what does that tell you? That the whole thing is a CIA op, and to win a Nobel Peace Prize, you go bomb the shit out of somebody and go, now let's talk peace, brother. There's some weird shock and awe shit that you got to prove it to them that you're willing to murder and then just turn the faucet off. It's so fucking crazy. That is the epitome of doublethink, being able to hold two diametrically opposing thoughts in your head at the same time. Peace prize, fucking strategic bombing. They don't go together, dude. Like that's opposites, north and south pole of a magnet, but we hold them both. Like, yep, it makes sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. What would have made sense in all of this is if Trump would have stuck to his gun, says he's a non-war president. Israel hits them. Even if you give Israel the weaponry to do the job, let them do it, and then go, okay, enough's enough. You hit their nuclear site. Now it's time to talk peace, and the U.S. is a mediator. Instead, we made some fucking stupid locker room move to go, yeah, I'm on the side of Netanyahu. That's like Vince and Deuce going, we were in on it the whole time together, instead of just playing your part and then being able to mediate. So that was a huge error, but maybe calculated in a way that is what they wanted to do. But that doesn't make any sense in the locker room to me. And if you would have done that and could have fucking, after taking out those nuke sites, letting Israel do that, then brokered 3 months of peace, gotten some of the hostages out of Gaza, then you've earned the goddamn Nobel Peace Prize. But instead we bomb and then we have fucking a conversation in the same day. Complete 1984 doublethink, bro.
Well, we do have just 5 days away, directly related to wrestling, as you mentioned there, Ben. WWE supposed to be heading over there.
Oh, it's not going to happen.
Give us just a little sneak peek of maybe tomorrow's Master Shoot Theater. What would Vince be talking about right now?
The show must go on, and if everybody's staying home, you know what that means. I'm in the main event, baby.
but boss, they're dropping nukes. We're taking out nuclear sites, bombs everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I can go Broadway. Me and Ducey pull 60 minutes. That's it. Young writer, you're ref.
Get you one of those young females over there.
Yeah.
Exactly. What do you expect the real conversations are going on inside TKO right now?
Gotta fucking call Trump and the military.
I was going to say, to get the bat phone into the White House to see
Because
what's
here's
happening.
the thing. There's no better way than that right now. Boy, this fucking setup crew sure looks jacked. Oh, that's because it's the fucking Green Berets, to get those guys in country. If I was running the op, there's no better cover than WWE, right? Because guys who don't know that would go stooge would think those guys are wrestlers or some shit.
Who are all these guys in mask?
Right. It's fucking Delta Force, fucking SEAL Team 8 or whatever the fuck. So, there's so many ways like that it could benefit getting guys and ops in country that if Vince or whoever calls them and says, hey, we need to cancel this, like, we need you to fucking go do it. We'll ensure that your people are safe because you're going to have SEAL team fucking whatever with you. You know what I mean? Like, and a military escort to Saudi and get Bin Salman in on it. And now once you pull that off successfully, is there danger? Absolutely. You've done shows in Iraq. There's fucking more danger in an active hot war zone there.
Got into hot active bases before.
Yeah, dude. And it's the military. They're going to fucking get it done right to fly you into Saudi. But are you bait? Kinda. Are you Tyler bait? Maybe. but it's like the fact that you're there is kind of a fuck you in the eye of like, we're not fucking scared. We're so LA Knight will fucking come over and and point all over this bitch. But the reality is they really don't want to drop it is because the whole show's a rib on CM.
Yeah.
Is a rib on CM Punk. And if you get Punk to go during this, holy shit, won't that be something? But
we got pipe bombs, all right.
Yeah, we're gonna need a pipe bomb maker. Points, RBV, great. So there's a lot to it, but the main reason to have this show and not cancel it if it goes on is it's a total front to get in fucking Ethan Hunt and his whoever that team is,
And you talked about those societies over there, whenever what country it might be, you just got kind of grouped together in that Middle East, and they are trying the rebranding, and especially the Saudis have been pushing for that. Yeah. They don't want this affect what they're doing.
No, that's why I was saying the Iranian culture could easily adopt that 2030 movement that Saudi is pushing, and is that part of what they wanted to do since I said General Wesley Clark. Sometimes it's not about bombing the shit out of people. It's about hearts and minds, because that's what's really the lesson of that shit is how do you rebuild and instill confidence and move their society forward. So it's not some dictatorial regime that takes over and you got fucking Uday and crazy Uday and Kusei fucking having rape dungeons and shit. You know what I mean? Like, would you be fine with the president of the fucking university that's been held down, but is a progressive leader taking over there? Like, it usually starts in those types of places of education because that's where you have to change a whole generation's mindset from the one that's been propagandized to. So, if there's an underground movement of that already, which I believe there has been, that's been trying to be stifled, it just takes some money in the right place and the right people leaving, in a bag pretty much. So Bin Salman's not beyond that, and he's got a bigger future and knows what's at stake. So I think, to me, like, they look at Iran as like a nice part of a township that could be added to everything that they got going on, because if they can get NBA games, if they can get the people of Iran in that American culture, and it's not that far, and they're trying to build Vegas, you're going to need people to come from Vegas. And like I said, Iranian culture is advanced. They want a part of all that stuff, dude, so I think that's what they're pushing towards. So why would you want some old school fucking mullah regime holding that part of the country back from advancing that wants to?
Yes, I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting. I love how you put it there. A lot of just the wrestling fans inside that bubble are just going to be looking at the company. There's a bigger scope here. at work.
No, yeah, dude. Fucking A.
Much bigger. Anything else with
Yeah,
the?
so if the show's on, that's the reason why. If it's off, it's because the boys are going, I'm not fucking going to there. Like, just calm down. You'll be all right.
So all right. So how does those conversations go? Do they have to do? They come together as a locker room, or are there some people saying, "Hey, we'll take this opportunity to get on this show"? If others are opting out to have this platform, to know, and then maybe become endeared by that Saudi audience, or how does that exchange go between office and
does CM Punk and fucking Sami Zayn start I'm not going, fuck that.
but that's someone that's like Crosby, like, you know what, I'll go. I'll take that spot.
Exactly. But then the boys start joking about, hey, how much is hazard pay on this one? Is it extra? I heard they were getting extra. I heard Cena's getting extra 100K for hazard pay. Like somebody says it out loud as a rib, and then it gets back. Like some stooge goes and stooges that to do. The boys are fucking grumbling about having to go and how dangerous it is. Do you think we can bonus them? What do they say? 100,000, 100,000. Fuck that. Give them each 25. And just from starting some shit like that, you can get 25,000 shut the fuck up money, and off you go to work your match. But then you might be stuck on a tarmac being held hostage. But not
that's happened before, right? They were held.
Yeah.
They leave on Wednesday, I believe. I think I even saw somebody over in the chat mention that. How soon do you expect a decision?
Decision on
from WWE?
They're supposed to be going in 5 days.
Well, they're there in 5, but they'll have to leave. They'll start that trip over there Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah,
there might be production people already there.
Yeah, I'd say you probably got till after tonight. You probably have 48 hours. And I think if you pull them, that is not a flinch, but like it just looks, it doesn't have the appearance of strength, and we got this shit, even though it's close. But if some people are uncomfortable, then don't send them because card's subject to change, right? But if fucking Killer Cross is like, yeah, I'll go work it and I'll do the assassination if you need me to, then fucking, like give somebody a shot and you come through. Yeah, his family was military. And if this is like, you got to have your closest in the locker room leaders and people you trust in like a thing to kind of stooge them and smarten them up, but don't smarten them up going, yeah, we're going to have a different ring crew with us. And we need to have this show. So if you're not comfortable with going based on religious, political, or just you got a family and you're worried, then we understand that. And there's no heat, but this show needs to go on. And we're looking for some people who are ready to make that trip, and we can guarantee your safety. This is the best ring crew we've ever had.
Why do all these caterers have 24-inch pythons?
Yeah,
and 8-pack.
Exactly, right. So like that's how I would pitch it to like my top 10 guys, because I'm sure Cena's kind of like fuck, But how many things has Cena worked on that the CIA have been involved with already? I'm sure plenty.
Hey, CIA, get Logan Paul, baby. He's one of them ops where you talk about that Friday in the locker room.
Yeah. Logan Paul too, to get him out of the heat. Sure.
If they would pull the show from Saudi, cancel it all altogether, or just redirect, find somewhere to set up shop real quick?
No, cancel it, dude. Cancel it. You can blame security issues, you know what I mean? And we just don't want to put your.
No, I mean, do you instead of going over there, do you hold it like over the chat? They suggested maybe New Orleans. I mean, that's pretty quick to announce. We got a major premium live event coming to.
Yeah, no, just Fabe, dude. It's not going to hurt their bottom line that much because that Saudi show's a bought show, right?
Yep.
You don't even pay tickets for that. So
we love them bot shows.
Yeah. So. No, that to me, that's like, why squeeze something in, just be like, we got to do it to pay off these storylines and
Well, you're already having struggling television and Netflix numbers because of all these PLEs, and there's no reason to watch those. So just move all that shit there.
Right.
Well,
Absolutely.
speaking of, right now they're missing out on a huge opportunity by not taking to social media, taking to the internet, and being like, tune into Raw for an announcement about Night of Champions.
Yeah, to take a look about it, you know what I mean, or a chance
People
to,
would be tuning in to check out what the hell they got. You know, what's the announcement going to be? What's the call going to be?
yeah, if you could get a spot, I guess, I don't know, like, is there a show you can jump on? Does like AAA have a show that night that they're in Riyadh, like, and highlight that and switch to that is what I'm is what
OVW is running right here in Cincinnati. I'll be there running the pre-show trivia for them.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I love that, I wish they had a working deal with them, but or is NXT there that night and we're just gonna run with them? You know what I mean? Something along those lines that you could do in-house, I'd be down with. You
Vegas
know?
would probably set them up somewhere. Hey, just come here, run your show one night.
Yeah, but you gotta
We can
sell
comp it.
tickets and all that shit too. So yeah, you could absolutely.
Yeah,
Got
it'd just be kind of
you got as good a chance of being shot in Vegas though as you do in fucking in Saudi.
Absolutely. Ben, you'd mentioned this was something interesting I saw just as was getting ready for the show, trying it what internet I had a little bit beforehand. You mentioned Sabu in his passing. I saw
Yeah.
this over in the Cornet chat group, and so I guess somebody had. I guess there was rumor running around that Joey Janela. Obviously, he had Sabu's last match there for his promotion.
Yeah.
And he was actually selling the barbed wire from that match. And so somebody sent him a message. Hey, Joey, are you selling pieces of the barbed wire from your show, from your match with Sabu? And Janela replies, this is a private message thing. He shared this. They're sold out. Any of the money going to Sabu's family or help funeral expenses. And then Janela just replied, nope, all in my pocket. I spent it already.
Well, that could be a rib.
That's what I think. That's the way I was kind of reading it, but
Yeah,
that's
just
going to
to work
set people off.
Right, to work the marks.
Yeah, he realized this dude's trying to work him. That's how I saw it, but you know how it's going to get twisted when people see this thing. And I think even in the comments over in the chat group, I didn't go through all of them. But yeah, people were immediately like, "Oh my God, what a scumbag!" Edge now it doesn't have the best reputation.
Well, that's his fucking
That's his
life
gimmick.
and gimmick is to be a scumbag, right? So, yeah, he's working right there, but you know, I'd hope that he was even Sabu would be like looking back at him to haunt him, like, you better sell that shit and make some money, you know, like we're here to hustle. That's the thing to do. And then I hope he would do the right thing, but welcome to pro wrestling where everyone's a scumbag, you know. So I don't know, but to me, that is bait, and he kind of not called him on it, but got over on him with his response and stayed in gimmick and you know, got it over. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of the dude that much, but he must have a huge hammer on him because he was with Megan Bain and he was with that other hot
Penelope Ford and then Megan. Hey man, them scumbags, they got game, man.
I guess, man, I can change him.
the fixer uppers, man.
Yeah, sure.
The fixer uppers. You know, that reminds me of a story that Lance Storm was telling about Sabu in a match. Like Sabu, his just that sense of humor that he had was very different. Like he would intentionally botch so that the crowd would chant "You fucked up," and he'd be like, "We got him chanting it."
Yeah.
And Storm was like, "Man, you're making me look like shit for chants that no one's even getting that you got, that you ribbed them."
But I would say to that, it's about them being into the match and getting a reaction and giving them a piece of yourself. So you fuck up on purpose. So you got them in there and they feel like, oh, remember when he tried to do that shit and and that's working. Even if it's not like where Lance Storm is such a technician and wants everything clean. And if something botches and they do it, as opposed to fuck that. What are we here for? To get reaction. Well, you know what part of the show I'm going to be tonight? The "you fucked up" chant part. You move and I'll fucking eat shit and like that's just knowing one of those Baskin Robbins 31 flavors of ice cream that somebody might not be on the show. What if everybody has a clean match and they never get to chant it? But if you're smart enough and you fucking pick that out, well, that's pistachio for the night. Nobody else had that.
Well, you're actually right. What are they talking about afterwards? Not that how crisp everything was through that show. They remember that one moment where they got to let the talents hear about something.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is a big important part of the ECW show, of the crowd being the fucking fourth man in the ring. You know what I mean? Fucking getting a response out of Bubba Ray Dudley and having him shut the show down, and fucking going back and forth with the crowd, and Spike getting fucking tossed out and passed around and all that shit, dude. Like, that, you know, to live vicariously through Tommy Dreamer, all that was what the magic of it was. The wrestling was awesome and crazy and fucking great characters, but it was about getting to be part of the show, you know.
Did you see any of the footage from the Fanatics Fest, the Fan Fest there in New York, with all the WWE's personalities that were there? They had the entrances. Did you see, like, where Tom Brady came out to the Cody Rhodes entrance? He had the belt, and he took a Jets jersey and threw it on the ground, and he ripped a New York Giants jersey apart, and then Eli attacks him from behind.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, man, I'm fucking fed up with these fucking stupid ass athletes. I really am. These guys who make tons and tons more money than wrestlers, but they mark out and do all the wrestler shit. And we bust our asses fucking week in and week out to set trends and make things popular. And then we get goofed on because it's phony wrestling. But then when the guys with the legit rings do crotch chops or fucking Cody's entrance, well, then it's cool, but we don't make that kind of money. And neither should they, to be honest with you. And then they fucking just jump on each other thinking it's funny and ha ha he he. Dude, let me fucking give Eli Manning a fucking clothesline and let fucking Blaze Ram drop the leg on him.
I'll pay $5 for that.
Yeah, like, he won't be like, he's been hit by big dudes, you know, but like, get in there and then get up, run the ropes, fucking, I'm gonna give you a fucking back elbow. You take a bump after that, after his body's all fucked up. They don't really respect it of what we do. They fucking mark out for it and they think it's fucking cute. And then what's every single person from I Show Speed to whoever that did it after, like, they're like, I loved it, but fucking A, man. You like, you get fucked up. Like, I trained.
Oh, that dude was like, I'm done.
Yeah, my body felt like I got hit by a train, whether it's Bert Kreischer or any of those guys. Like, yeah, dog. But now you get to have a Netflix special and I got to go deal with locker room heat. Like, you know, like, it's just like, I'm tired of that bullshit. And I'm tired of prima donna athletes who are fucking more interested in fashion showing. They think they're good at the entertainment side. They think they're as good as Pat McAfee, and they're not even close. I'm tired of hearing Gronk and the rest of them that they think they're fucking smart. They're meatheads, and they have no idea how to deliver. I didn't even really like John Madden. I couldn't stand listening to John Madden for years, dude. I'm glad his game's popular and all that shit and what he contributed to the game, but like, I just don't like it. I know some people hate Chris Collinsworth like that, and
I love Collinsworth.
Joe Buck. I don't mind either of those guys. And so, you know who I can't stand is the lady who calls the fucking Yankees games. Holy shit. Like, there couldn't be a worse call than you put somebody on the mic. So,
you know what? I'll take the heat here as someone that's, you know, does it for a living, that studies it through it. I'm sorry, women announcers are terrible. I'll take the heat.
But I sometimes agree with that, but then the one chick who's on UFC, who's a legit black belt, dude, she spits game. I was like, who is this chick thinking she knows? I looked up, okay, she's Olympic team, black belt judo. I was like, this bitch knows what's up, man. And she would put my ass in 2 minutes. So if you come from the game and you can commentate on it or be the color person like a Jerry Lawler is, or a fucking Charles Barkley is, and Shaq, I'm down for that. You know what I mean? But a lot of them are just brutal to have to sit through. So, like, John Madden be talking, then and they got a sausage sandwich down there that was extra. I'm like, shut the fuck up and call the play, dude.
Speaking of, your New York Yankees are in town here in Cincinnati for the next few days.
Yeah, I don't really follow baseball. I just know that they would have it on them, or, you know, sideburns went on in the car, and that lady would irk the shit out of me. My whole point kind of is I'm definitely done with baseball and basketball players. Still have a little football addiction, but I just look at them all and they all disgust me, from the flops they take, from how bad they bastardize the game. You pass somebody a ball in the NBA, it's an instant travel every time, bro. I'm a Jim Boeheim Syracuse basketball guy, like serious zone, serious fundamentals. And to watch these prima donnas do that and make that money and act like they do is a joke to me. And to now embolden college kids to do it, sickening. And baseball players for what they're making. I don't care, you come from Japan or whatever. And that's another thing. Oh, he comes from Japan. Big fucking deal. Same way I feel about New Japan Wrestling, bro. Oh, you were over on an island that's the fucking size of New Jersey? Congratulations. I work New Jersey fucking indies too, and other countries and other states. Like, that, I'll be impressed when you fucking do that, when you fucking go get over in Europe or come to America and get over. Like, but because fucking Otani and all those guys come from there, we got to pay them the most insane amount of money ever. Fuck out of here, dude. It just is. It's tough to sit there and think about. I'm very blessed in the situation I'm now in with Ravens joint, but for how many decades do we scrap and sharpen our swords, and then these dudes are just given these fucking insane contracts, bro.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, you look at the things, it's mind-boggling trying to figure out the return on investment for these contracts. How are they regrouping this? Ben, going back to your point there about, celebrities, athletes, kind of, mocking pro wrestling with these entrances and moves and things that we see, social media videos. How much should that play? Because you see the wrestlers themselves playing right along with that just to try to get that rub, that shine from somebody like that.
Yeah, but the wrestlers in their mind are half marking out for celebrities that are bigger than them because they worked the system knowing that they weren't the athlete that, like, on the team that those guys were, but they influenced them. And now those guys are marking out and they've got to sit there and go, oh, yeah, I do the DX thing, as opposed to being good brothers and be like, these fucking marks, in the wrestler's mind. Cody is looking at fucking Buddy doing his shit going, this fucking mark to some degree,
And then also, hey, all right. Then he smiles because he knows he's going to get a payday as well.
Yeah, he is. Now he's going to work them. In his mind, he's like, how can I get fucking, who was it from Tampa Bay? What the fuck's his name?
What sport?
From Patriots that did the Cody thing.
Tom Brady.
Brady fucking doing his shit. In Cody's mind, he's like, fucking got him. How can I get Tom Brady on Wheatley vodka as an investor and da-da-da? Like, the worker mind instantly starts fucking going when you see these guys who are top pros with multiple rings acting like marks. You just fucking keep being a worker. Yeah, dude, that's what I do, bro. Yeah, you're just like me. But in their mindset, it's like, how do I get that Tom Brady money? How do I fucking get in with his investor people? That's just welcome to pro wrestling, being a hustler from the bottom up.
I was going to say, I figured that was the answer I was going to get there, because they're looking at it like, all right, man, I've got you. Now, how can I get some of that money that you're being overpaid?
Exactly.
Pitt, was there any other big headlines you wanted to hit on here?
Wrestling wise, Liv Morgan out. That sucks.
I wanted to ask you about that. And because this is one of those things, like last week we had a great conversation. I was sold on Seth Rollins. It made sense to me. Talking to you, going through the creative, there wasn't a good pick. It was a bad all-around options, and he doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I listened to the clip that you can get over on YouTube, the Hami Media Group page. You, Stevie, and Mr. Russo talking about that. And you guys mentioned that maybe use this an opportunity for Liv to, be written off television for a little while. We went the opposite direction last week on I Like It Raw with me, Jimmy, and Ray. Obviously, way different perspective, but we were kind of in the mindset of she is so good right now, such a hot attraction for them right now. She's clicking on all those cylinders. Sad to see this happen, but you don't necessarily have to remove her from TV. That you could still use her in some other aspects of the product. I mean, like Britt Baker was one of the biggest attractions, the hottest thing in AEW for the entire year when she was in a wheelchair.
Yeah. Absolutely. Especially if there's heat between her and Rosie Perez now. You make
That popped
Rosie,
me. I popped with you guys with the Rosie Perez.
you make Rosie fucking be her wheelchair pusher or whatever she needs. Like, you know what I mean? Like an underling that will eventually fucking, go over on her or align herself with Kevin Nash, Rodriguez there and fucking
Start manipulating those spots.
yeah, they both turn on her, right? Like
or
what would it be if Brett had to fucking be Sean's lackey and in the end Brett turns fucking Diesel and then it's Brett and Diesel together and Sean's on the out. Like there's different combos that we can go with here, right? So I don't know, but plus they're all hot chicks. You can get Dominic in the middle and fucking do some funny shit that way.
I'm loving the shit-eating grin Finn Balor too, who's kind of pulling some strings and manipulating things to kind of get his way with, behind the scenes there with Judgment Day. But yeah, I like right when the injury happened, and you guys broke it down perfectly. It's one of those freak damn things. She was smart. She was smart enough to get the hell out of there, not to try to push it. She got out of there immediately. In my mind, promoters wise, you got that show going on. You hate to have a stoppage like that, but you got to take care of your talent. But you got to be liquid. I was thinking, why weren't they ready to go on the fly? Perez was already in her gear. We'd seen her hit that music. You go work a match right now.
Now you understand the problem with the factory system, and let's put everything together and fucking. If something goes wrong, can we just call it on the fly and do that? No. If you were a Rip Rogers worker, you could, but at the same time, that's TV, and there's probably contingencies in place saying, no, shut it down. We'll go with a fill package. If we got to go home early, we will. We'll call the network. And in the old days, workers absolutely would have done that, or indie workers worth their salt still do that.
That would have been, gold falling in their laps. Send Perez out there to take a spotlight that was Liv's, which can kind of fuel those. And if you want to protect the talents, just have a smallish finish, double disqualification, throw it out or something like that.
Yeah, well, you can do all that. All you do is pitch the commercial, smarten up the ref that when we come back, I'm sending it out there, have her pull 6 minutes and go over with the same finish, just have her call it to her. However, you have a Japanese talent in the ring, so it might be a little difficult to communicate that. But let's just say it's not. Let's say it's somebody else and it's just a similar situation. Do you have trust in your workers to be able to go out and do that and have them ready to go? And who's in their gear? Yeah, like all those contingencies should be ready to go. And maybe under a McMahon regime, it might have been. But under a TKO, it might not be. So
Triple H is one of the 5 guys that get it in this world in existence. So
that's why he's got his gear on and he's ready to go. He could walk down and call it on the fly. I'm sure Triple H could, but guess what? It's not going to be the same finish. Triple H is definitely going over on Kairi Sane. So
that's the match that you didn't even know that you needed out there, ladies and gentlemen. Triple H versus Kairi Sane retirement tour coming up.
Yeah, man. So, but I think once you throw up the X, like that's just kind of it. And it was super early on. And dude, Liv's been working her ass off for years now. And these are compounding injuries. I've had this happen to me twice. I don't know if hers, like what exactly it was, but I've had my shoulder popped out 3 times in matches. Twice I had to put it back in and finish. Once at OVW and once in Canada. And it sucks, bro. It's, your whole side is dead and it's aching and it's killer. And
it hurts more going back in and popping out on you.
Yeah. Almost fucking pass out, piss your pants. But I've been in other matches where guys got knocked out and you got to stretch and pull time, it can happen on anything. And it's not, and this was pretty much a textbook looking how to protect yourself, take a face bump to me. So, like I said, these are compounding injuries and you just hit and that vibration can out it goes and like instant shutdown button, so I hope she gets better. But yeah, these are opportunities, especially for heels like her. If she wanted and demanded respect, that was what her promo was to start. Then to start commanding and demanding people, you will respect me. And fucking else she'll have to come out and go, you will respect me, and fuck you, right? Like that's what it could be over to. the other one that popped me this week, and I know we'll talk Raw SmackDown review, is Cena's promo after a fucking shit show of SmackDown. Punk through a table. Punk has to lay there for 6 minutes while Cena cuts a promo. We can't, in a match, we can't get a guy to sell a super kick or a spear for more than 3 seconds. But apparently the promo lulled him to sleep and he wasn't what have you. But like everyone's saying, oh, Cena's pipe bomb. And it's interesting to me, like where he shouts out Claudio and Cardona and whatnot. I'm like, what a miss. Like, I get what he's doing, but he should have fucking shouted out who? Only one name.
Right, you got me here.
Hi, Colt Cabana.
Oh, yep. Hey, that's Colt Cabana's been off my radar. That's it's just
well, that was the pipe bomb thing, right?
Right.
And when they were, that was Punk going, "Hey, buddy, you're my best friend." And since then, look what has happened with CM Punk and Colt Cabana, and that's really the story you need to know about who's who and what's what. Instead, he names all the guys that he like. Does he have heat with? Because I didn't hear Alex Riley and Ken Doan's name in that list. So like all these little half inside ribs, but I would have just done high Colt. Look at the camera and done high Colt Cabana for the callback on that. That would have grounded that scene much more to me.
Oh God, I just if he was like, "Hey Colt, you want a free trip to Saudi?"
I would just do Punk's line. There's nothing better than using their own words against them. But he just lay there. I was thinking of A Christmas Story. Randy just lay there like a slug, and they push him down in the snow. So yeah, man. There's a lot of weird choices. The Ron Killing stuff to me is not going right.
It's all shotgunning it. There's no thought.
It's not even shotgunning. It's a rib punishment thing of, oh, you wanted him back? Okay. And they want you to be the guy. So we're going to have to go another way with you. And if John's supposed to be the heel, now you got R-Truth doing heel run-ins, taking people out. And Aleister Black got his balls clipped on that fucking show. Looked like a total fucking idiot having to travel there. His match gets called off. He has one promo backstage and fucking walks away from that one too. It's just like, okay, like we'll see what happens next week. But that whole show made him look fucking like a goof, and we're not protecting the guys that just came back. Rusev didn't go over in the Money in the Bank. So what hopeful future is for not Money in the Bank, King of the Ring? Like they're not protecting. And then there's matches where Asuka has to go over because she just came back. So she's going over. So they're either hurting somebody or making it non-predictable or introducing stories like Goldberg with no inciting incident. And I've seen a lot of Bully Ray stuff lately that kind of echoes, and its creative minds are going to think alike, parallel thinking. I'm not saying he's taking anything from me, but, like he's right on the fundamentals of things of like, I'm down with the feud, but give me the story, the inciting incident. Why not? The music hits, he walks out and gets a match. And they don't even give you the internet rumors are real. Well, what are they? What are the internet rumors?
Right. Well, they don't even give you the full entrance. I mean, they half-ass it.
And meanwhile, Triple H is meeting with RFK about nutrition, and we're sponsored by Slim Jim and fucking Minute Maid sugar drinks, bro. Like, it's just
Fireball ladders and liquor and whatever the hell.
Yeah, that's the new food groups.
Hey, that actually wasn't my food group for a long time. Because Slim Jims are a big seller at the bars, man. Get me a shot of whiskey and Slim Jims.
Nothing more you want than that. Oh, fucking rock god. But it's just I think these main events are being thrown together for what purpose and storyline? They're hurting. No one's getting over by doing that because you put the title back on the heel to have the legend babyface come back and win the title? No, the legend babyface has to fucking do business for the guy who's the top guy. So now the heel with the belt's going to beat the fucking babyface, and it just so happens to be German beating a fucking Jewish guy, but we're not going to play into that story, even though we got World War III with the fucking Israelis. So what message does this even send, bro? Gunther didn't even need the belt. He could have lost, spun out, and fucking done something with what this whole business is supposed to be about, which isn't Goldberg's retirement.
It should have
Nobody
set
wants
this up.
to see a Goldberg fucking match. It's about getting his kid a fucking NXT contract. So why would we silent fucking, well, I guess we'll do that down the road because he's Goldberg's kid, instead of making that the storyline that Gunther goes, I know what you're trying to do here. Get your fucking stupid kid. You want attention on your kid? Here's attention on your kid. Boom, boom, boom. Beat the fuck out of him. And dad has to come have that match. You leave dad bloody, and then the kid comes in and fucking goes, Dad, no, and gets the contract, and he has to work for the next 3-4 years till he gets his match
Then
with
pay it off.
fucking Goldberg and with fucking Gunther, and then pay it off. Like that's the excitement.
And you're documenting that his entire journey through the development program to get to that.
Yes. It's just like, that's not hard to do. It's the belt is a symbol or a prop or whatever the fuck you want to say for greatness. But in this case, it's the kid is the symbol for fucking family, respect, honor, and passing the torch.
And that's, I was going to say, that's a true passing the torch, a generational shift.
Yeah. And we set that kid on his journey. Yeah, it's going to be 4 years till he makes the main roster, 5 years. And Gunther will probably be at the end of his run and can do business for the fucking kid. But anybody with half a brain in their head who's ever done this shit that fucking understands story writing would know that that's where the emotion is tied to, is in the family, father, son structure. And they both get beat. So that gives the son the id to come back and win at any cost and put in the climb up the mountain to get good enough to face Gunther, not to have both of them beat him or Goldberg go over on him.
You're a big like mob movie guy. So this is like the son seeing his dad get whacked and he's got to work his way up those ranks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then eventually come back and get somebody and, take care of business.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's things like that when I just see us missing. And like now Jey Uso is fucking way down the ladder too. He's supposed to be main event. We're going King of the Ring. What if he wins King of the Ring? Are they going to make him speak with a stupid British accent like they do everybody else?
Samoan King.
Yeah. Like it just, none of it made sense in the right business to do.
Here's what I don't get with this. Why isn't he... Everyone else in the world has been, you're guaranteed a rematch clause when you lose the championship. Why is he going to have to go through this tournament to get to that? And they don't even explain anything inside of that.
Nothing is explained. When I hear things like, well, the internet rumors are true. What? Or we're supposed to know this guy because they were over there or something. Like, why is Jeff Cobb with these guys? Why is, any of that shit? What happened to Joe Henry? Like, we got Elias getting hurt on NXT and Joe Henry's getting WrestleMania matches. We're hiring back top guys who came through the system, got over, and we let them go that have money written on them. And Aleister Black, a Rusev, a fucking Elias, and Killer Cross is sitting back here having to put over Sami Zayn. You guys, you're going to be a future champion one day, just not this SummerSlam. Like, what does a future championship of Sami Zayn have to do with anything, bro? Right. Like, why are these guys stroking each other in the ring? It's just like one terrible entrance after another having to sit through this shit. And that's a mailed-in show. That shows to me that nobody really cares about producing the best TV, the best story. Everyone worked their ass off to get to this point, the highest point in wrestling. And the most minimal effort creatively is being put out there. And the guys in the ring, I know this shit because I came up with them at OVW. I know that they know the knowledge I'm putting out there. They might not have the scene work knowledge, but why are they still going out there and executing like that instead of just kind of punching it up their own way a little bit to actually get maximum value out of stuff, bro? Like Cody came up under Al. Al fucking knows this storytelling of what did we do business tonight? What didn't we do? Did we bury this person? Like all the checklist of questions of how you analyze your own performance. But apparently everybody just got a fucking private bus and their own vodka line, and it's on to the next one, dog.
Absolutely. Been over that hour mark. Anything else you want to hit on, man? I'm looking at the sheets, man. It seems kind of light on the wrestling side.
It's a quiet week, but we'll see. I saw some great super chats. Thank you guys. Just protect your minds from the propaganda. People are saying in the chat that Iran says they're ready to negotiate now. So who knows? Maybe I'm the wrong one. Bomb the shit out of somebody and win the Nobel Peace Prize. I guess it comes down to. But yeah, man.
Those are bombs of love.
Yeah, it's a big, beautiful love bomb that destroys you.
That's not a mushroom cloud. That's a rainbow.
Yeah. Bolt of bright, flash of light, and everything I love was gone. But you guys were here today to gut it out with us, man. I appreciate it on World War III kickoff Monday, and enjoy Raw while you can. And we'll see what geopolitical shenanigans we can get ourselves into this week. I'm sure Diddy's pumped about World War III and everybody else who needed a misdirection spot as we tear down the heroes of our society and only to rebuild again and repeat the same mistakes. But hopefully you guys believe in yourself and you're having a good summer. Stay hydrated, stay cool. I know it's about 100 degrees in New York right now. And
I saw the entire chat was talking about it is hot out there. So liquids, fluids.
Absolutely. So
carbohydrates.
But we made it through 10 feet of snow, so it's time to enjoy some sunshine and vitamin D. Yeah, I got some vitamin D for you. Rub all over your face, Deucey. But I'll be back tomorrow. Actually, I'll be back tonight, 6 p.m. I'm going to be on Cafe de Rene. So if you couldn't get enough of me talking shit, I'm sure I'll say much of the same stuff tonight in about 2 hours and 15 minutes. With Jason Sensation. Always love being out with him.
That'd be fun.
My man Rene Dupree reached out yesterday, which I thought I had heat, so I'm glad I don't. So, but yeah, man, I'll be over there and then off to watch Raw to review it tomorrow with Big Stevie Cool and Mr. Vince Russo himself, who's pitching, not catching, pitching him and Tony Khan go to see a baseball game together. And wouldn't that be lovely? I would love to see that unity. So unity, you and I
remember for Pride Month, pitching or catching, at least you're still in the game.
That's I'm just in the bullpen warming up myself. But
corking that bat.
Y'all, man, good to be with RBV, man. I know you had a big weekend on the track. I'm proud of you. You keep fucking bringing that thunder, man. Big things to be announced in the upcoming season.
Another big weekend. I got some unique races I get to call this weekend. Get a burnout competition Friday night. Sunday, I get to do auto and rally cross, which is something different. But as I've mentioned, if anybody's in the area here in Cincinnati, free show from OVW. Bell time is 7 p.m. Get there early if you can. 5 p.m. I am hosting the pre-show and trivia, and it's at Element Eatery here in Cincinnati.
Awesome, man. I love that crossover. I know you're going to have a great time with those guys for sure. It's a hot nuke summer here with Hacker Hameen on the Monday Locker Room, Art of the B to the V. Send the ransom money, infidels, here. Channelattitude.com, Hameen Media Group. YOLO.
You want to laugh, Russo?
Yeah, we'll laugh tomorrow.